Wait a minute. Aren't there normally more sea lions than this? Oops. Guess a fraction of the sea lions were hidden in the water. Fractions. There were 3 sea lions in the water and 9 in total. So 3/9 of the sea lions were in the water. 3/9. That's how you write a fraction. The numerator is the number of objects we're thinking about, like the 3 sea lions in the water. And the denominator is the total number of objects. There are 9 sea lions in all. Looks to me like 1/9 of the sea lions is a massive show-off. Oh dear.
Today's lesson is on unit fractions. We have already learnt about finding half. Half is where one whole has been split into 2 equal pieces. We have also looked at quarters. One whole must be split into 4 equal parts for there to be quarters. And last week you looked at thirds. Each of these shapes have 1/3 shaded. They all have 3 equal parts. Which of these pictures represents 1/3? Have a think. The yellow circle does represent 1/3. The turquoise rectangle is not 1/3. It's 1/4. The green rectangle has 1/3 shaded. But the triangle, that isn't thirds, that has 1/4 shaded. What about these pictures? Which pictures represent 1/3? This time you might need to count up all of the shapes and then think about how much of each one has been shaded. The first shape doesn't show thirds. That shows 1/4. The next shape does show thirds. 3 of the 9 pieces have been shaded. Therefore 1/3 of the shape is pink. Is the next shape thirds? No. It's not thirds. 1/2 of this shape has been coloured. And lastly, the arrows. There are 6 pieces to this arrow. 2 of them have been coloured yellow. Therefore, they are thirds. Now look at these pictures. The whole is 9. There are 9 pencils. 1/3 of 9 is 3. Yes, if you were to shade 1/3 of the pencils, you would colour in 3. Underneath, there are some ice creams. There are 6 ice creams in total, so the whole is 6. Can you think, what is 1/3 of 6? Yes, you would give 2 ice creams away if you were to give 1/3 of your ice creams to a friend. Now count up the apples. How many apples are there? There are 12 apples. The whole is 12. 1/3 of 12 is 4. Yes, 1/3 of 12 is 4. And finally, the pairs. How many pairs are there? There are 18 pairs. The whole is 18. 1/3 of 18 is 6. 1/3 of 18 is 6 pairs. Now look carefully at these shapes. How much of each rectangle has been shaded? Have a think and write on your piece of paper. A half has been shaded of the first rectangle. 1/3 has been shaded of the second rectangle. And 1/4 has been shaded of the final rectangle. What do you notice about these? Now write down the fractions that have been shaded in each of these pictures. How much has been shaded in the green picture? That's right, 1/4. Now look at the yellow arrows. How much has been shaded? 1/3. And now look at the heart. How much has been shaded here? The hearts have been split into half, but both halves have been coloured. Now write down the fractions that have been shaded in each of these pictures. Look really carefully. Look at the red arrows. 4 of the 8 arrows have been coloured red. Therefore, half of the picture is red. Now look carefully at the green. There are 16 pieces in the green picture. 4 of them have been coloured. So 1/4 of the picture is green. And finally, how many pieces has the rectangle been split into? The rectangle has been split into 9 equal parts. 3 of them have been coloured yellow. So 1/3 of that rectangle has been coloured. What about the fractions shaded in these shapes? These are a bit more tricky. Make sure you count each time. Have a look at the square. There are 9 little squares. 3 of them have been coloured. What fraction has been coloured? That's right, 1/3. Now look at the arrows. White, red, white, red, white, red, white, red. There are 8 arrows. 4 of them are white, 4 of them are red. So half of that picture has been coloured. And finally look at the triangle. How much of that triangle has been coloured green? That's right, 1/4 of the triangle is green. Now look at the pattern of the shape on the right-hand side of this page. How many parts would need to be coloured on this shape if first of all you were going to show 1/4? Have a think and write it on your piece of paper. 1/4 of that picture has been shaded green, there are 3 pieces that would be green. Now looking at the same shape, if you were to colour 1/2 of that picture, how many shapes would you colour? That's right, 6 of those pieces would be coloured. But what if you were to colour 1/3 of that picture? Yes, you would colour 4 pieces because there are 12 pieces to that puzzle in total, and 1/3 of 12 is 4. Now look at this next picture. How many parts would be shaded on this shape if you were to be showing 1/4? Then look at 1/2. And finally think, if you were going to share and put it into thirds, how much would you colour for 1/3 of that picture? Press pause and work them out. 1/4 of the picture has 6 pieces shaded. Half of the picture has 12 pieces shaded. And 1/3 of the picture has 8 pieces shaded. Were you correct? Lastly, let's have a think about this problem. Tam says, I think that 1/3 is bigger than 1/4. Is Tam correct? Explain your answer. That's right, Tam is correct. 1/3 is greater than 1/4. A whole split into 3 parts would make each part larger than a whole split into 4 parts.